Hello, everyone. This is Sauda, and this is actually my first reading. I use tarot cards, and I use let's see, these are the cards, the tarot cards that I use. If you can see that, I'm a beginner, so I don't have a whole lot of experience reading tarot cards. So a lot of it is very intuitive and based on spirit and my connection with it. But I feel that, and also with the checks and balances, I also follow other tarot card readers who have more experience, and my messages are dead on. And not to say that they need to match everybody else's, but my message is my own message, and Spirit chooses me to speak through. So this is your message for next week, though, and it's May 25th. It's the week of. But these are not time sensitive. This is when I ask for Spirit to give me a message for that week. So um, that's why I said the specific date. But when you come across this time, it won't be specific to when you are inspired to get this information. So whenever you come across this video, it's whenever you come across it. I've been trying to film uh, this message for probably a couple hours because I'm somewhat a perfectionist, and I like to have I just like to have everything in place and professional, but the message is just a message. So I'm going to be reading from the notes that I took, and I'm also going to share with you how I got the message. I normally go ahead and I meditate and I ask Spirit to guide me. All of Spirit and guidance comes from positive energy, so I don't even bother to ask the unwelcome entities or energies to exclude themselves because for me, there's no such thing as negative energy, so to speak. It all serves a purpose. So let's get into the reading. And first, I want to just walk you through the notes that I took for myself so that I could interpret what I was actually being given. So, the main message here came from the Ace of Cups, and there were two clarifying uh, or message, or let me back up. There were two clarifying messages to kind of illuminate what the main message came to offer, which was the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. Um, then the supporting messages from those uh, was Page of Cups and Six of Wands. The overall energy was the Death card. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. The Death card is not a bad card. As I said, energy is energy. So I had to look up in the book. Then I'm going to show you the book that I use, which is this is the book. It normally it has in it the cheat sheets of the little different parts of what each card says in summary, but then there's an in-depth part of the book that tells you what the meaning of each card is, and I did my work out of the book, so you don't have to see me shuffle and all that kind of stuff, and actually going through the book and getting the meaning from it. So I already have my notes, as you can see right here. I don't know why it's particular that people want to, um, I don't know, see how the other tarot cards and the readers do things, but this is how I do it. And it's for me, it's not necessary to deliver the message, but it's also give you a good idea of the process because the actual message is is shorter than the the process itself. So main message is the Ace of Cups. Clarifying message cards for that main message is the Four of Pentacles and Page of Swords. And then there's supporting message aside from the main message, which is Page of Cups and Six of Wands. And the overall energy for this reading is the Death card. So, really, the Ace of Cups, it talks about new starts. It brings happiness to the home, and it's a message basically from God. So, you should get excited when you get this card. It's the Ace of Cups. And cups usually means, giving, uh, something that's near and dear to your heart. But the ace, mm, that's the hand of God blessing you and fulfilling you emotionally with something that you've been wanting, that you've been waiting for. So that's the Ace of Cups. And it is the main message. So you're going to get your blessing from God. God, I don't like to say him or her because God to me is not a gender specific entity. So let's just say you're going to get your blessings straight from spirit. This is about manifestation here. And then the two clarifying cards to support this main message is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is overall talks about being fearful of loss. So you're gonna be getting a blessing, but at the same time you're gonna be second guessing the blessing itself. Um, but don't focus on that. You work hard and you whatever blessing that you're gonna get, it's not just you're gonna get a blessing because you're just gonna get it. You work for this. This is part of your co-creation with spirit. So you've been working on manifesting this. So don't worry about whether you're gonna lose it or not. You might be worried about you're gonna lose it because you you made some, you know, not so good decisions in the past, where God, Spirit, Source have handed you something and you didn't see it for what it was, and you made a decision against it and you suffered for it. This is not that. This is not that because you learned your lesson. Um, and the next clarifying card for this main message is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is this good news. There's going to be some good news to come, but it's going to be a delay in it. And that's what the Page of Swords does. It's bringing you good news, but it's going to be delayed. And this card says it'll be delayed or it'll be disappointing news. But when I did this reading, I felt like it wasn't disappointing news. It was good news. It was news that you are anticipating. It was news that you've been waiting on for a long time, but it's just taking its time about getting there, about getting to you. So you're going to get a blessing from spirit because of your diligence in your manifestation. You were praying, you've been meditating, you've been putting out that good energy, and there's going to be some news is going to come about the blessings, but it's not going to come right just so, not yet. This is the week though that if you're coming across this message now, it's probably already been you've been alerted to this news. Somebody's come in contact with you. You've gotten a letter or an email about a job, about some money or something like that. You can never tell when the Ace of Cups shows up because this is uh, this is blood. These are blessings from spirit, and so it could be anything. And based on who you are and what's going on in your life, you have to also figure out what this message means to you. And this is a general message, so it's a lot of people that might see this message, but you have to be it for the specifics. You have to figure out what the information that I'm giving you is telling you for your specific life. So the news is coming, but it's slow, and you probably have gotten, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but the news is coming if it has not come yet, but the blessing hasn't come yet. That's what I mean to say. The news is coming. You know it's going something's going to happen big, but the blessing itself has not come. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to get it. I know you're probably a little gun shy because of your past, but again, this is not that. I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. So the supporting message, aside from the Ace of Cups being the main message, is the Page of Cups. The Ace of Cups is what I mean for the main message, but the Page of Cups, it means it's happy news. Just like what I said, you're going to get some news about the blessing that God is going to bestow upon you. I mean, like there's not going to be room enough to receive the blessings that you get. It's going to be ecstatic. It's going to blow your mind, and you've gotten the indication of this happy news, but the Page of Swords is going to hold it up a little bit because it's going to be slow. And the Six of Wands, this is about success and achievement, promotion. Again, an abundance of good news, an abundance of prosperity. It's going to be slow, but it's coming. It's coming. You know it's coming because it's coming from God. And you know it's coming from God because you are co-creating this manifestation. So it's not like it's surprising news to you. This is news that you were waiting for, and not because you had put in an application or anything like that, or you put in for a loan, or and I don't really call loans blessings anyway, because blessings are things that you don't have to pay back. And so this is not something that you have to pay back. This is something that you do deserve because you've done the work. You've been working diligently for this to happen, and now it's happening. And you're getting news that is going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. But don't be discouraged because it's going to take place. It's happening. It's going to happen. And so that's what the Six of Wands is talking about. It's talking about being recognized for that achievement, or being recognized for the work that you've done. And here's the thing. This is going to be information. It's going to be news that you were expecting, not news itself in particular, but you're going to be expecting um, this great thing to happen because of the work that you've done. And the thing about it is the people that are around you that have witnessed your suffering, that have seen you working hard, that have, you know, seen you fall and stumble and get up, they're going to know that you deserve this, that you've earned it, that you worked for. So this is not something that you just sitting back and you getting because you're just getting it. You deserve this. And God knows you do. And it's almost like God is saying, well done, my faithful servant, because you passed the test. And this is the end of manifestation. When you have done the work, you visualized in your co-creation with God, Spirit, Source. You've stayed the course. You've uh, you you've stuck by your faith. All you need is the size of a mustard seed, and you have well over more than the mustard seed portion of faith. You've in some ways doubted somewhere here and there that maybe it wasn't going. You didn't know whether it was going to happen or not, but you stayed the course. You did the work. You trusted God, and you believed that you deserved it. You understand your value, and that's why you're getting what you're getting, because you deserve it, but you work for it. And here's another part of the message too. Because this has happened before, because you are very familiar with how to manifest things. This has happened for you before, to the point where it seems like a miracle. You gotten up and wished for something or said you needed something and it happened. And you've needed something really bad, but it didn't come in the package that you wanted. It wasn't specific to what you said you wanted or that you thought you deserved, and you didn't see it for what it was. And so you kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, you shit on it. You turned your nose up at it. But this was a gift from God. This was a gift from Source, Spirit, and you helped manifest it. And then you turned around and you turn your back on it. And as a result, you found out in the end why that blessing came when it came. And because you didn't see it when you should have seen it or when you needed to see it, you suffered for it. Because the blessing actually came to um, prevent your suffering, but you didn't know that. The difference between then and now, it's the same thing happening. Your abundance is happening. God is blessing you, but you learned from your mistakes. You learned that you are valuable. You learn not to dig up your seeds that you sown. You learn that when God has something for you, it's for you. And when God has something for you, it's for good reason. God will send you, Spirit, Source will send you things that will cause you, that will sustain you, to hold you over, so that when the storm comes, you good. So when Spirit sends you a gift, don't frown upon it. So you've learned that lesson. You've learned the value of getting things that you have manifested. Sometimes you try to you in your manifestation process, part of the process of excuse me, part of the process of manifesting something is you have to forget it. But you forget so well until you forgot that you asked for this. You asked for the blessing. You didn't forget this time, did you? You didn't forget the pain that you went through, because you probably going through it still. But this message is here to say to you, it's over. Your suffering, your pain is over. You've learned your lesson, haven't you? So, last thing though, the overall energy is the death card. And that's why I just said what I said. The death card actually it shows up to bring you harmony and balance back into your life. Because of that pain and that suffering that you went to, took you way off kilter, took you way off balance. And it had, because it had to transform you. It came in the way that it did to ensure that you, one, you remember the lesson, and you will never let this happen again. And then you can move forward. This change is coming. The death card brings change, transformation. It's not like the tower card. It brings change. Death is transformation. It's death in one aspect of your life, so that it opens up life for the next part of your life. And you are entering the next phase of your life of elevation. That's where you're going. That's where you're headed. So get ready for your blessings and for the change in your life. You're going to even look different. You're going to look different, feel different. And the thing of it is you're going to know why you're different, because you went through something and you're at the tail end of whatever that is. I'm about to sneeze. I feel it. Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna come. It felt like it was gonna come, but it didn't. So anyway, I admit I don't know. I wrote down my notes, but I kind of went over them already with you. So, but I want to read them anyway. This is how it goes. Um, you will experience major change and transformation in your life. And the reason I feel like I want to read this is because when I interpreted this, I do a thing called spiritual. This is what I call spiritual writing. It's when once I'm filled with the information, because the book says to study to show that self-approved. So I've studied and I've interpreted what the cards say, and now Spirit is writing for me how this should be played out or written out. So I'm going to read what Spirit told me to write. You will experience major change and transformation in your life. That's the death card. You will receive opportunities that are extremely fulfilling blessings, which bring an overflow of satisfaction. And it's so much so that these opportunities will, um, they'll feel as if they were specifically sent by God, which is true. That's the Ace of Cups. But, however, you will be afraid that these gifts and opportunities are too good to be true and that they might repeat past decisions that caused you to suffer great losses. Meaning, you've been through this before. You've already you have experience with co-creating with spirit, with manifesting great things, but you forget because that's part of the manifestation. So when the blessings come, the end of it, the manifestation comes when this thing that you've been trying to pull out of spirit comes and shows itself physically in front of you. You forget that you actually manifested that, and so you don't see it for what it is. It's like me wanting, and this is an iPhone 7, and I want a 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever they got out there now. And so I start visualizing, I start doing all of the steps to manifestation. But then I get a phone sent to me. I didn't buy it, it just came. It showed up. I pulled it out of spirit into the physical world. But I don't remember that I did that. So I send the phone back. That's kind of what this is. Let me move on. Um, and I'm here to tell you that uh, don't be afraid of your blessings that come to you. You do deserve them. The message is that it is real. So if it's physical, if you can taste it and touch it, it's real. God is giving it to you. Source, spirit is giving it to you because that's the arrangement that you have. This is the real thing, and so that what God has for you is for you. It's indeed for you. It cannot be taken from you because God gave it to you. Now here's the thing, and that's the part I wanted to tell you. To be careful not to easily give your gifts away this time, because even though if God, if this is from God, this is from source and spirit, it can be taken from you, but you can give it away because that's your decision. So if God gives you something, no one outside of you can take it from you, but you can be coerced to give it to someone else. People do it all the time. So be careful not to give your blessings away. Be careful not to give your gifts away. Uh, you have learned your worth. I'm sure of it. That's probably why you're so gun shy and apprehensive. And you've also learned your value. You have value. And sometimes we have so much value, we have value that we can't see in ourselves, but other people can see it. And that's why they can sift the value or the sift the gifts and your talents out of you because you don't know your worth. You do now, though, don't you? Know your worth. You are valuable. You are valuable. God gave you these gifts. You are valuable. And even though you didn't see it in the past because of the pain and suffering that you went through, you see it now. Hold on to that. So this time, hold on to your worth. Hold on to your value because you have great value. And I believe that you will do this because you now know that the lesson of the giver is discernment. If you're listening to this and this is resonating with you, you're a giver. You have the gift of help. And with every gift that we have, that we are given, that we can receive, that we've been born with, there may not be a book, an instruction book, a guide to help us to figure out how to use it. Kind of like buying a gun. They require you to take lessons and to learn how to maneuver the gun, what you need to do to keep the gun in a safe place, all that stuff. There are rules and regulations. Well, it's the same thing with gifts, but it's up to us, first of all, when we recognize that we have these gifts, to do the research so that we can understand how to best use them. And you might say, well, where's the research? How do you find out what a gift is, especially if it's a spiritual gift? Well, you go where the spiritual gifts are listed. And in these cases, it's the Bible, but it doesn't have to only be the Bible. I'm just saying that if you really want to know something, you have to seek it and you'll find it. Because if you want to know, it'll be available to you to know. Spirit will send you somebody who has the same gift, give you some passages in the Bible to read. You'll be able to find a book that talks about spiritual gifts. If you want to know, you'll know. Um, but understand what your gifts are. And in this case, your gift is that you are a giver. But there's no rule that say you have to give to everyone, and it doesn't mean that you have to give um, in a haphazard way. And what I mean is, when you're a giver, you have great discernment to the people you need to give to. You're not just an open door or a doormat to be stepped on and for people to just take from you or sift the information out of the gift out of your hand or to um, deceive you into giving your gift to them. That's not how it's supposed to happen. So, in your round of uh, experience, where you're full circle right now, the gifts that you're going to get, people know that you deserve it, but at the same time, they're going to try to take it from you. They may. It'd be great if they didn't, but they may. But that's not going to happen this time because another gift that you walked away from your other experience that caused you great pain is discernment. So that's something you that's been added to you because this I'm telling you, this gift that you're getting now is going to restore you, almost put you back where you were knocked off. And some of us, myself included, you've been suffering for a long time. And I don't want to use the word suffering because actually you've been in school for a long time. You've been, I don't want to say this, you've been learning for a long time. Spirit has been teaching you for a long time. I mean, 5, 10, I don't know, probably beyond 10 years, but you've been learning a long time. And for this moment, This is what you've been learning for this moment, and it's now time to reap what you sowed. Because in your learning, what has happened is that you could have been bitter, you could have not wanted to help anybody else, even in the times that you most needed help. You decided that the best way to get help for yourself is to help others. And you were right. Because of that, it's why you're getting such a big blessing. And this blessing, these gifts from Spirit, is way bigger than what you turned down. So, along with these spectacular gifts, you will receive happy messages of fortunate news regarding recognition of your work that you did. You're going to be recognized for stuff that you did from the past. That's how long you've been working through your process of manifestation. It's going to be spectacular news. And like I said before, the people that are around you that have been witness, that bear witness to the suffering and the pain, the diligence and the work that you have done, they're going to be your witnesses, and they're going to vouch that you do deserve what you are getting because of the work that you put in. At the same time, these gifts are going to take some time to get to you, but you are going to get the news that is coming. But it's still going to take some time for it to get to you. But the news is the gift, the news of the gift is going to be so wonderful until you're not going to mind waiting. So it's going to take some time for it to reach you, but just to know that it's coming, it's going to sustain you. Um, Last part of this message, let me see. These rewards are going to rebalance you, replace the things that you gave up or had to give up. Um, they're going to build you back up. How about that? So it's almost like you had to empty out what the Bible says, the old wine. No, not the old wine, and your body is going to be replaced as new skin. This transformation is going to be you're going to be a whole different person. And I'm going to have to wrap this up because it's at more than 30 minutes. But this is the last part of it. You're going to be a new person with new stuff. And you're going to have to be a new person in order to in order to be able to um, receive this big blessing or these big blessings. You're going to have to be a different person than you were before. You didn't know your worth. Before, you didn't value yourself that much, even in the midst of people who saw the value in you. But you know now, and now you're equipped to handle what's going to be given to you, and it's going to be 10 times better. Like if you had to, I don't know, if you had whatever, let's say you had a car, it was okay, but you had to give it up for some reason. Well, you're going to be blessed with a car way better. You had an apartment, you had a house that you had to give up, it foreclosed or whatever. You're going to get another house that's way better. You had to break up with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They were treating you wrong. They didn't understand you. It didn't work out. Well, somebody is coming that's way better. And that's all I'm talking about. Those are examples. So, last part of the message. You may be in awe, is what I have written down, and unable to believe that God is restoring all of this stuff to you, restoring even you, everything you need spiritually, physically, emotionally will be restored. You're going to be restored. And you're not going to even believe it because it's going to be too good to be true. It's almost like you've been waiting on this thing to come, and all of a sudden it's coming, and you can't believe it because it's happening. Finally, it's happening. You've been waiting on it, but and it didn't happen. It looked like it was going to happen. It didn't happen. But now it is happening, and now you can't believe it. But believe it. Believe it. Believe it. It's happening. So you won't be able to believe it in the beginning, but you after you get into it, after it's here, after it's come to you, you'll get the hang of it again because you know you deserve it. You'll see that it's real, and you'll be released from the fear of losing it again because you'll be conscious. You're going to be conscious of what happened in the past, knowing that it's not what's happening here, but connecting with some decisions that you need to make to maintain your blessing, and you will be equipped to keep it because of the discernment that you would have gotten, the wisdom that you've gotten from these experiences, because you already knew the principles of manifestation. But the part about being ungrateful was not the part that you had as a part of this. So being grateful is a part of the reason you were able to manifest. But in the moment, and when I say being grateful, being grateful is part of the how you manifest something. Because it's almost like the water that causes the seed to come up. But once the seed comes up, you can't dig it up, or the plant comes up from the seed. You can't dig it up. That's called being ungrateful when you dig it up or you speak against it. So why do all of that work and turn around and step on your blessing? That's not gonna happen this time though. So final message is congratulations. That's it. That's all. Congratulations. You did it. Uh, like Drake says, you started from the bottom, now you're here. I ain't got nothing else to tell you except congratulations. You made it. Enjoy your blessing.